Are you worried that AI will take your job? Do you feel anxious every time you read fresh news about artificial intelligence generating yet another genius story, script, painting? Well, I have bad news. Yes, AI is going to replace freelancers, and here is why. So I've been scrolling through Reddit, trying to see what other freelancers think about artificial intelligence. There are tons of articles and blog posts out there, all trying to explain why AI won't be replacing freelancers anytime soon. But here's the bad news, folks. AI will replace us eventually. Let's not get our hopes up with all these articles trying to convince us otherwise. But don't worry, I've got some thoughts on how we can delay this from happening, and I'll share them later in the video. Most of these articles all bring up similar arguments as to why AI can't replace freelancers. Let's debunk them one by one. Myth number 1. Human creativity can't be copied. Sure, if we're talking about some sort of one-of-a-kind genius, but let's be real. There are millions of freelancers out there in the world, and most of us are not creative marvels. We may be good at what we do and want to think of ourselves as unique artists, but let's face it, whatever we create could be potentially generated by a computer. Maybe not right now, but eventually it will happen. Myth number 2, AI can only duplicate. The argument goes like this. If 100 different users asked ChatGPT to write an article about the economic situation in Indonesia, eventually we would just get 100 variations of the same article. And that's probably true, but what would happen if we made a similar experiment with humans? Let's hire 100 freelance writers and ask them to write an article about the economy in Indonesia. I'm pretty sure we'd end up with 100 articles that are just variations of the same thing. Because, guess what? Most of them would use the same resources as ChatGPT does. They'd just do it slower. Most of them are just going to Google and read what others have already written. Isn't that exactly what AI does? Myth number 3. Original thought. People argue that although AI can analyze massive amounts of data, only humans can find connections between seemingly unrelated ideas and come up with an original thought. Well, this is true only if the assumed freelancer actually wants to generate an original thought. Most of the commercial creative work these days consists of getting references from the client and generating something similar, be it making a website, writing a blog post, or designing a logo. And AI can do most of it at the moment. Imagine how good it will get in 5 or 10 years from now. Myth number 4, real-life experience. AI may have knowledge, but it lacks experience, right? But what does experience even mean? As creative professionals, our style is shaped by the books we've read, the films we've watched, and the things we've encountered in life. Well, guess what? AI has also read those books, watched those films, and consumed way more than we could ever dream of. Sure, AI doesn't have real-life experience, but is it really crucial for most of the commercial work that we freelancers do? Let's be real, most of the time, we're not expected to create masterpieces. We're usually editing yet another forgettable advertisement, writing a blog post for SEO purposes for a corporate blog that no one reads, or designing a logo that won't be unique. So if you're not planning to write the next Great Gatsby or make the next Apocalypse Now, then real-life experience may not be necessary. I know all this sounds quite pessimistic. And let me know in the comments if you're worried about your job too. But can you prevent AI from taking your job? Or at least delay it? Yes, you can. The recipe is simple. The more complex your work, the less likely it can be replaced by AI anytime soon. AI isn't good at making a series of complex, multi-layered decisions. At least, not yet. As a video editor, let me give you an example from my industry. If you're just clipping together a few shots with music, then AI can replace you in no time. But if you're editing a documentary where you need to make hundreds of big and small decisions on how to tie together various storylines and build a narrative, AI can't replace you anytime soon. The thing is, there are 2 major qualities that AI lacks at the moment, and I don't see them coming anytime soon. First, AI doesn't have a point of view. For example, I could never ask ChatGPT to write the script for this video because I'm sharing my personal observations. Yes, maybe ChatGPT could have written a better script than I did, but it won't carry my opinion and my observations in it. Second, AI doesn't have taste. It can generate thousands of articles in a minute, but it will still take a good human writer to understand if the article is any good. To create art with AI, you still need to be an artist yourself. It takes an artist to decide if an image generated by Midjourney is good or not. My point is, unless artificial intelligence becomes intelligent in the core meaning of the word, it will always lack opinion and taste. If you're a freelancer working in any creative industry, the core product you're selling to your client is not your ability of using professional software. It's your unique point of view and your taste, and also your skills of using AI to refine your work. So don't worry about the robots just yet, and keep looking for new clients. Speaking of finding new clients, my next video is about just that.